Hello everyone on Redmond's football report today, and I think we're going to do what the ending scores of the Champions League special like last report.
Yes, we have quite a bit ahead to go through, as we always do. And what we're going to be talking about?
Mostly Champions League results, and some different games, and soon it's going to be the quarterfinals.
Yes, it'll be, well, we've got a few games to get through still.
Yeah.
But there's lots of different games, as always, coming up. So let's start off with our results for the week.
Yes.
And any minute now. Here they are.
Yay.
The week's big results.
I got that one very close to right, but you got exactly right. 2-2 draw.
Yes, Dortmund against Sevilla ended up being 2-2. The other game, there was a few different games. There's lots of Champions League. Women's Champions League, we had Atletico Madrid against Chelsea. That ended up being a 1-1 draw. So a little bit of respect there for Atletico away from home.
And there's a great win for Esperance. They win 1-0. I guess it was 3-0, but
yes,
it's not.
Al Ittihad beat Al Shabab 2-1, which changes the complexion for Al Shabab. They're not as easy a walk through there. Motagua beat CD Marathon yet again. Motagua really have the hex on them at the moment. And Guarani earlier on this morning lost at home in Paraguay to Atletico Nacional.
I got that exactly right.
Well done. From Colombia. In the other Copa Libertadores game, Unión Español beat Independiente del Valle in the first leg of their playoff. All to play for there, certainly. I think Atletico are through in the other one.
Villarreal gets a big win. We both thought Don and Mukia would win, but Villarreal scraped through 2-0.
They did. Another big win for Unai Emery. Plenty to play for. I sometimes think during these winter games, the Ukrainian and Russian teams sometimes play better away from home than they do at home. In the other in the rest of the Champions League or Europe men's Champions League in Europe, we had Juventus beating Porto 3-2. We'll get to that again in a moment. Liverpool easing through 2-0 with the most confident performance I've seen them have since their last game with Leipzig. And Paris Saint-Germain holding Barcelona 1-1. Goals for Messi and Mbappe, and Messi missed a penalty in that one.
Should have been 2-1.
None of these games ultimately changed the outcome of the first leg. The first leg told the tale in each case, and I would say confidently that of the games I watched, and there were many more games beyond that.
It was 4-4 because they got 4 Juventus because they have 1 goal and plus 3.
Yeah, these were their scores going into the game. I would say that the Juventus-Porto game was the best game of the Champions League games in the week. I got to see a good bit of both of them, or most of them.
Sadly, Porto goes through against Juventus.
Yeah, Pepe was resolute at the back, and I don't think he's getting credit enough for that, as most Juventini are talking chiefly about who's to blame for Juventus going out. Pepe is largely to blame for Juventus going out. Chiesa's performance, though, was sensational, and even though he wasn't on for much of it, the extra time was gripping. I wasn't actually able to sit down for the whole of it. I was literally standing in front of the TV in case something happened. Cracking game. Shame to see Juve out, as we're both, I think it's fair to say we're both fans.
Yeah.
Do you want to show everybody your shirt? No, not take it off, just show them. But Chiesa played extremely well, and I think that should be remembered by all. Chiesa's having a great season so far, but Porto did what they needed.
Yeah, and he's also a substitute to Dybala, and Dybala's still
injured.
on the
Yes.
field.
Well, we will get to Dybala. Well, we won't because he's still injured later on. Any thoughts on the football you saw during the week, Redmond? You saw the Arsenal game. You saw, what was it? Who was Arsenal playing? Can you remember?
Benfica?
No, that was the week before.
Olympiacos.
Olympiacos. You saw Liverpool against.
And scraping through.
Well, let's finish one thought before we move on to the next. Just for everybody's sanity, mine anyway. You saw Arsenal against Olympiacos. You saw Liverpool against
RB Leipzig.
And you saw Juventus against Porto.
And a bit of Paris Saint-Germain against Barcelona.
A little bit of that. And you saw a little bit of Dortmund against Sevilla.
I don't remember that.
No, you don't. And you saw a little bit of whoever Roma were playing. Get those dirty toes down.
I don't remember. I think it was... I can't remember their name.
No, you can't.
And Olympiacos actually lost 2-1 against Arsenal. A great scraping through game. I think that's the second game. It should have been the second game of the week, but
possibly,
and also,
arguably. Well, it's the first leg there, so there's more to come.
Before we get to our scores, like the video, hit the bell, and subscribe, and also tell the teams you like. So you could actually comment down below your favorite team and get it into the football report, literally. Isn't that
you can literally get it into the football report. It's
one day
true.
or maybe even 2. Isn't that really cool? Mind changing.
Right, well, we'll carry on and we'll start looking at previews. And we've got 11 games to look at this week. No Juventus women, they don't seem to be playing till the 20th. Not many women's games knocking around, but we found an absolute choice one, and I picked one for one of my picks. So we'll start off with the probably biggest women's game of the weekend, and I would say arguably this. Please just sit easy, sit back, relax, sit back, don't tap the table. Yeah, we'll have to cut that elbow off now.
No.
Life without an elbow will be interesting. Yes, we're topping and tailing the show with what I think are the biggest games of the week. And we start with women's football, and we look at Olympique Lyonnais in France's Division 1, playing PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, the women's teams, obviously. These have been the two biggest teams for a while, and there's no surprise that this is first against second. The big surprise is that Paris Saint-Germain are the team in first at the moment. Olympique Lyonnais have had one defeat, and that was to Paris Saint-Germain. Paris drew their second game of the season away to Bordeaux, and that's the only points they've dropped. So it's 42 playing 43 points on the table. They're, as well as being the two biggest teams in France, they are definitely the best financially supported by their owners. The only teams that are coming close, I think, are probably Manchester City.
And LOL?
These, LOL is one of them. Olympique Lyonnais. Sit back.
Lyonnais actually won the last Women's Champions League.
And they played PSG in the final of that.
And they won. How much goals, though?
I think it was something like 1-0. It wasn't a great game, but, finals seldom are. PSG have won, in the last 8 games between the two, PSG have won once. I think it was 3 draws, a win, and then 4 wins to Lyonnais. But OL have lost the last match, the game played in Paris. Paris Saint-Germain have that on their side, plus that point advantage. Redmond, what do you think is going to be the score in the game?
Well, I think it's going to be a quite good game. Olympiacos can't do it.
Olympiacos can do nothing because they're not playing the game. It's OL.
LOL doesn't do much but getting 0 goals, and PSG finds the win 2-0.
Okay, it feels like Mystic Meg here is giving predictions. I'm going to be more mundane and go for 3-1 win to OL. They have the expertise, they have the technology, they've done this before. This is where you grind out your league wins. And having lost earlier, the fact that Paris Saint-Germain dropped points to Bordeaux could be the doorway that LOL need to get through this. Sticking with women's football, we're going to Denmark now. Yeah, Denmark. I know, we haven't done that before. Fortuna, and the pronunciation here will be dreadful, Hjørring, are playing HB Køge I could be terribly wrong with those pronunciations. I'm not sure. Yeah, please comment on that. This is basically Hjørring in third place, 4 points behind. I can't even think of their names now. Køge. Hjørring are a big team. They have been first or second every year since 2002. And Brøndby has been second or first every year since 2002. So you can do the maths there. Brøndby are currently second. Køge are first, 4 points ahead of Hjørring. Køge were only promoted this past year, and they've basically been unstoppable. They've lost a couple of games, but everybody clearly has lost a couple of games. This could be the breaking of the stranglehold. I don't know. Redmond. And this is one of my picks for the week. I got 2 this week. What do you think the score is going to be?
No.
Well, I'm going to dream, and I dare to dream that it'll be Fortuna Hjørring 1, Køge 2, and the stranglehold finally broken in Denmark. That's my thoughts. Fingers out of nose, carrying on to Argentina now, where Estudiantes play Colón in what is the Copa de la Liga Profesional of Argentina. It's interesting this year. I was looking it up in a little bit more detail. This is basically a filler tournament in the absence of a proper league tournament proper. There are 26 teams currently in the top division. Most of them have a sort of a local rival or something like that. So they've been split into 2 groups of 13, each group having however many games. Each group everybody playing each other once. And for those in-between games, you play your local rival or your big rival or whoever's left. So, for instance, Colón are Colón de Santa Fe, and they play Unión de Santa Fe in their spare game. Estudiantes are who they're playing in this one. Estudiantes against Colón. Estudiantes in their group are currently second, and Colón is amazingly first. This is only after 4 games, 4 of presumably 13 games. It's 10 points against 12, so you can see it's really early, but it's nice to be able to talk about Colón. Now, Estudiantes are a massive team. They've won the Champions League, the Copa Libertadores 7 times. Contrast this with Colón, who have been in continental action 3 times, each in a different cup. I think it was the Copa Conmebol, the Copa Sudamericana, and the Copa Libertadores. In each single time, they lost out to a different Argentine team. I think Lanús was the team who knocked them out of the Copa Conmebol. I can't remember which way around it was, but Boca and I think River Plate knocked them out in the other ones. One of them was in the quarterfinals, one was in the semi. I think the semi was the
best
Conmebol.
Teams in Argentina.
They are massive teams in Argentina. So it's very exciting times to see these boys here. Have they a chance of going anywhere? Hard to say. It's so early in the season, but Banfield were finalists of the Copa Diego Armando Maradona, which is another filler tournament. So Redmond, what do you think? Estudiantes and Colón?
0.
A scoreless draw, you reckon? I think it's going to be... I suspect it won't be as tight as it'll sound. But you've got to fancy Estudiantes to win 2-0. Colón out in the middle of nowhere in Santa Fe. Sorry, folks of Santa Fe. I'm out in the middle of nowhere in Duncannon. So I feel your pain in your city that's probably bigger than almost every other city in Ireland other than Dublin. Yeah, I think Estudiantes will win this one. We'll come back across the Atlantic now. And we're going to go to see Enugu Rangers, or Rangers International as they're sometimes called. It's their actual name. Playing against Adamawa United. God, that took longer than it should have. In the Nigerian Professional Football League. This is a clash of the not in any way giants. We have after I can't remember how many games now, but we have second playing 20th. 24 points to Enugu Rangers, whereas Adamawa have only 10. Now, Enugu are one of Nigeria's big teams. They're one of the 3 oldest teams in the country. Won the league 7 times, not since 2016 though. Won the CAF Cup Winners' Cup in 1977. So they've got their history. Adamawa have very little on Wikipedia. They're the most isolated. They're actually the most isolated team in the Nigerian Professional League in the extreme east of the country, and they appear, from what I can tell, to have no team in the same league as them within several hundred miles or several hundred kilometers. Pardon me. They got relegated back in 2012, but they bought the spot in the division back from the team that was meant to be promoted. So before we get romantic about them, let's just remember that. Adamawa have better form at the moment. They've had 2 wins, 2 draws and a loss, whereas Enugu have 2 wins, 1 draw and 2 losses. So there's little in it in terms of form at the moment. Redmond, Enugu Rangers against Adamawa United.
Enugu Rangers 1. Adamawa United 2.
Okay. I personally think it's going to be a fairly dull draw, 1-1. Enugu need to get back on track. Adamawa badly need the points, bottom of the table as they are. 1-1 draw. That's what it screams to me. Let's have a look at some of Redmond's picks for the week. We're going to start with Barcelona against Huesca.
I'm
SD Huesca. Yeah, it's 3rd against 14th. Hang on, I've got the wrong thing here. Let me see. Yeah, it's 3rd against... I think this is inaccurate. Oh, I see what happened now. Oops. All me details are from another thing. Swept away. I wonder how this happened. Let's see.
Sorry, folks.
Yeah, either way, Huesca aren't doing great. Barcelona have been doing better. They have not been... The rumours of Barcelona's death are much exaggerated. They're not playing great. This is not classic Barcelona. This is not the Barcelona we've been raving about up until maybe 2018, 2019 for about 10 years. But they're still getting the wins. They're still second in the table. They have a game in hand on Atletico and on Real. I think they're, 2 points ahead of Real and 5 behind Atletico. Either way, they're still in the league title hunt, especially as Atletico are stuttering and Barca and Real have not really got it together. They've come out of the latest rut. The Paris Saint-Germain game seems to have been an aberration, although, you know, they certainly looked like they were the better team to me on Tuesday night. So Huesca, oh God, Huesca are not up to much. Redmond, thoughts on this game?
2-0 Barcelona. They're not playing like classic Barcelona.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with 4. I think there's a backlash coming. New president wanting to be showed off for. I know PK was missing on in the midweek, and that was a significant blow to them. I fancy Barcelona to really pull a blowout here. Moving on to other supposedly underperforming teams. All Redmond's teams are theoretically underperforming. Wolverhampton Wanderers play Liverpool FC. This is 12th against 8th with 8 points between the two. Liverpool are currently in 6th or 7th, I think.
Oh my God!
They're 8th.
Well.
They're not doing well, but they're 8 points ahead of Wolves, but they're only 7 points behind Chelsea in 4th. Champions League is feasible. Liverpool have not been showing that form. The arguments are all that Liverpool need their 2 central defenders back. They need to be able to do better than this without them, to be honest, but that's another matter. I'm not going to talk about the injury list any more than that because we always do.
Hopefully they can get back their players. Mm-hmm. And that means they'll strike back again.
Yeah. Well, Liverpool haven't lost a league game between these two teams since 2010, although they've lost in the cup to them twice. Mm-hmm. Wolves have been pretty inconsistent. They haven't won a game in 3, and they lost to Southampton at home before that. Redmond, what do you think the score is going to be?
0 Wolves, 2 Liverpool.
So 2-0 to Liverpool in Wolves' ground. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Liverpool. I think they're going to start getting the things back on track. They need to, even if they just want to do well in the Champions League, in my opinion. Okay, down to the last 4 games, and Redmond's last pick of the day is Cagliari against Juventus, 17th against 3rd in the Serie A table. Juventus are 10 points behind Inter with a game in hand. They're 4 points behind Milan, also with a game in hand. 2 points ahead of Roma, who are back up to 4th, and 3 ahead of Atalanta, who are in 5th. Cagliari are in big trouble, 2 points outside of the above the relegation zone, but they've only gotten 7 points in their last 3. But that's because they've gotten 7 points in their last 3 games. Prior to that, they'd 1 draw in 11, or 1 point in 10 league games. Redmond, thoughts? Cagliari, Juventus, halves against stripes.
Halves against stripes.
Cagliari play in a halved shirt.
Okay, halves 1, stripes 3.
Okay, 3-1 win. I see Juventus scoring like Redmond does. I also see Juventus conceding like Redmond does, because it's just a mixed up mess. I don't think Juventus are nearly as bad as they looked, as they feel like they are. I think they're going to deserve to win this game. I think they're going to concede something stupidly, but I think they're going to hit well, and I suspect we're going to see Pinaldo hat-trick.
Ronaldo, you mean?
No, I mean Pinaldo. Shamrock Rovers against Dundalk. I am talking about Shamrock Rovers on the internet, and I'm not going to be swearing, so I feel like I'm limited in what I can do.
And he also...
This is one of my...
is born in Ireland. I bet all these games is now going to choose is like Irish
Yes,
teams.
I should be removing all other continents from this because we'll be talking about Irish teams. This is the Irish President's Cup. Our president... Formerly, well, I mean, it was always the President's Cup, our Super Cup between the Cup winners and the League winners, where they are not the same team. Rovers won the League and the League Cup, and Dundalk won the Cup. The only game that Rovers were beaten in this year, and God, I was relieved at that. It's the President's Cup since the 1930s, I think, when we created the role of president. And our president at the moment is a guy called Michael D. Higgins, who's great. He's a poet. He's a former college professor. He is a man of both prudence and policy. And he's also a poet, as well as being a former president of League of Ireland Club Galway United, I think.
Said poet.
I'll say he's a poet again. Lovely guy. Lots of... He has... People on both sides of the aisle have time for him.
And also he's a very old man.
He looks much older than he is. President for life until, we get another good one, which seems to happen with our presidents. Dundalk have had a weird management change during the week where the guy who was appointed manager during the summer is now officially a coach, and the guy who's hired as a coach is now officially the manager because he's got the badges. Yeah. He's got the official qualifications, whereas the Italian guy that the American firm that owns Dundalk brought in still does not have those badges, which is kind of sketchy. So he's going to be sitting in the dugout. He's officially not the manager, but he's apparently the manager, except he's not. That's not confusing or dodgy or very League of Ireland, which is a hashtag greatest league in the world. Rovers have been looking solid. They seem to have kept the bones of a good team. They've lost Jack Byrne, and that could be a big difference.
That could be a big bone.
It could be a problem for them. But Dundalk, having been so solid and so strong for so long, are in La La Land at the moment. Anything could happen in the next hour and 30, and it is apparently free on watchleagueofireland.com. You just have to sign up. I don't think you have to actually pay any money. You just have to sign in, and you will get to watch that game for free. Watchleagueofireland.com. You will be able to watch all League of Ireland games this season. All Premier Division League of Ireland games. They're meant to be doing something for the First Division. That's meant to be free, and I believe as well for the National Women's League, which would be good too.
And thank you. That is our sponsor.
Are they? Well, I'll take any sponsorship we can. But either way, check it out and we can shower them with praise or hatred depending on what happens. Redmond, Shamrock Rovers against Dundalk.
1. Shamrock Rovers. 0. Dundalk.
Yeah. I rethink what I already said, but I'm going to stick with what I said, which was 3-1. But I wonder, without Jack Byrne, who are they going to have as their, outlet playmaker, if you will?
Yeah, and I hope it's a young guy who's never really played before.
Yes, let's hope for that. The third or fourth biggest game of the weekend, as far as I'm concerned, is El Gran Derby. Once again, it's Sevilla against Real Betis. We talked about this before. Great historic rivalry between the two. This weekend, it's going to be fourth playing sixth. Sevilla currently on 48 points, whereas Real Betis are on 42. It's interesting contrasting because Sevilla have a goal difference of plus 15 to the -4 that Betis have. Now, Sevilla have lost their last 2 league games, haven't won a match of any kind in form, which includes a Copa del Rey game, the last game against Borussia Dortmund. They've 1 win in 6. They've slumped a lot since beating Barcelona in the first leg of the Copa del Rey semi-final, and it feels like they reached a peak with that game, and they have slid down since. Betis have mostly beaten the bottom feeders lately, but since January the 1st, they've drawn 1, lost 1 game to Barcelona, and won 10. This is exceptional form for a team outside of the big 3 or 4, depending on who's making the running in fourth. So it's very hard to imagine what's going to happen, but it's 2 teams. This is probably the highest the 2 teams have been at the same time playing in a while. Redmond, Sevilla against Real Betis.
I know I like this Real Betis a lot, so I was going to say 2-0, but I'm giving them a goal. 2-1.
Okay, 2-1 to Betis.
No, not to Betis.
Sorry, 2-1 to Sevilla over Betis. And I'm going to go... I think Betis' form is great. I'm hoping it'll keep going.
3-2, he says.
3-2. I didn't say, you said, and that's what I actually predicted. Finally, the biggest men's game of the week. We start with the biggest women's game. We'll finish with the biggest men's game. Is going to have to be the game taking place on Saturday at 15 hours Central European time. When I give these times in the thing, it's always Central European time. It is Mumbai City against ATK Mohun Bagan in the final of the Indian Super League. They both won their semi-finals. They were first and second, Mumbai being first and ATK Mohun Bagan second in the Shield, i.e. the regular season side of things. And now they play in the final, which is as it should be, in my opinion, if there's going to be a final. So it's West in the form of Mumbai City against East in the form of ATK. ATK, by the way, stood for Atletico Kolkata. And this is a final that's going to prove problematic for colonialists who never gave up on the dead names of Mumbai and Kolkata. If you didn't realise, it is Bombay and Calcutta. But it's really Mumbai and Kolkata. Okay?
Yeah.
Simple, straightforward, easy. Mumbai's first and only trophy in their history is the Shield from this season. So they have a great opportunity here. Atletico Calcutta / Mohun Bagan combine a newish team that just won three I leagues, and Mohun Bagan, which is a team that dates back to the 1890s. I think it's 1899, and had won various different trophies that have been prestigious in India over the years. It's a big game. It's exciting. It's again makes history. So I'm extraordinarily excited to see what happens. Redmond, what do you think is going to happen?
I think Mumbai will scrape through the win to win the Shield.
1-0, yeah.
1-0, yeah.
And personally, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win, but also to Mumbai. It's exciting. I would love to see them do it. I'd like to see a new name on the trophy there. I know it's a trophy that's only going like 8 years or something like that, but it is an exciting thing. And that game, by the way, for those of you who can get it, is on ESPN, or at least some ESPNs. It's certainly on ESPN Plus, and I intend to watch that on Saturday at 15 hours CET. So that is pretty much it for us.
Also, ESPN is tomorrow's sponsor.
Yes, all these different sponsors that we certainly will have. Either way, that's the show for tonight. Just over the 30-minute mark, is it? Yeah, just on the 30-minute mark. Redmond, have you any final parting words to say before I kill you? I mean, before we sign off.
Give your team a comment. Give your favorite team a comment.
Comment your favorite team's name.
And we can maybe have them for a day or maybe even 2 football reports. But that's going to be very rare.
Well, it's very rare because nobody's made any comments like that. Or any comments at all. Be the first to comment. You too can change the course of history by commenting on some random YouTube thing produced on behalf of a 7-year-old. Yes.
Bye, everyone, on Redmond's Football Report.
We'll leave you with the previews. Take care, folks. Have a good one.